Okay, boys and girls, let's continue with math, please. Week 2, skills 4, please. Okay, boys and girls. And we're going to be rounding on this page. Number 1, boys and girls, you're going to round numbers to the nearest 100. Number 2, to the nearest 100, this one. This one to the nearest 1,000. This one to the nearest 1,000. And this one's to the nearest 10,000. And this one to the nearest 100, boys and girls. Okay, I'm going to help you with number 5 and number 2. I'll help you with 2 and 5. Okay. And please pay attention, boys and girls. Some of these, they want you to subtract or add. Pay attention to these words, boys and girls. Difference and sum. Okay? If we're finding the difference, boys and girls, what operation do we use? If we're finding the difference. Do you remember? You said subtract. Good job. Subtract. If we're finding the sum, what's the operation, boys and girls? Add. Again, the difference. Subtract. Sum. Add. And sum, once again, we're going to add. Okay. So again, I said I'm going to help you with number 2 and number 5. Okay. First, we're going to be rounding numbers, boys and girls. Okay. So these are 3 separate numbers. Those commas are not place value, they're separate numbers. So these are 3 numbers. We're going to round to the thousands, and then we're going to add. And the thousands, boys and girls, this is ones, tens, hundred, thousands is that number 4. Thousands is that number 6. 1,000 is that number 8. And if you remember, boys and girls, then when we round, we have a victim and we have the bullies. Do you remember? Let me zoom it in. Okay. If you remember, boys and girls, this is the victim and these are the bullies. Victim, bullies, victim, bullies. All right, do you remember? One of them is doing the pushing, that one's doing the pushing, this one is doing the pushing, and this one is doing the pushing. Do you remember what we say, boys and girls? Do you remember what we say? Right up here. Do you remember? We say 5 and up, bump it up. 4 or less, let it rest. Remember? So if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, you're going to go up higher, boys and girls. Remember? If it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, if this is the numbers that are doing the pushing, then it's going to hurt. And that number is going to go up, boys and girls. Okay? 5 and up. It's 4 or less. So if it's a 0, a 1, a 2, 3, or 4. I'm going to let you rest. Remember? If it's these numbers, you're going to leave them alone. If it's 5 and up, then the number has to go to the next. The victim, boys and girls, is going to get pushed into the next big number. Okay? Goes up. If it's smaller, these are the ones that are doing the pushing, then the bully gets to rest. The victim gets to rest. Okay? So let's see, boys and girls. The 2's doing the pushing. Is that a 5 and up, bump it up, or for less, let it rest? So 2, boys and girls, so it's a wimpy bully, so it lets you rest. So that 4 is going to stay the same. So it's 3, 4, comma, and all the bullies in the back, they turn into big fat zeros. Okay, the one who's doing the pushing here is an 8. The 8's a big one, boys and girls, bump it up. So that's going to hurt, so it turns into a 7. Remember the bystanders, they stay the same, and bullies in the back turn into zeros. All his little members. All right, that's a 0 pushing him, boys and girls. He stays the same, let him rest. The 8 stays the same, so does the bystander, but all the bullies in the back, they turn into big fat zeros. Okay, and we're going to add. We're finding the sum, we're going to add. And I know, boys and girls, in the past, I've told you that we shouldn't be adding more than 2 numbers at a time. But they're zeros, so I'm going to allow it. We have a 0, another 0. Bring down the comma. And 4 plus 7, boys and girls, if you don't know, use your fingers. 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 plus 8, it's 19. Regroup the 1, circle it. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. So your sum, boys and girls, of these numbers when you round to the thousands is 89,000. All right. Let's go to number 5. We're rounding to the nearest 100, boys and girls. Okay. So I'm going to underline my place value. That's the victim, hundreds. Remember, these are different numbers right here. So the victim here is the nearest 100, boys and girls, is the 1, the 5, the 0. Okay. Remember, who's doing the pushing? The one that's right behind them. The 9, the 0, and the 5. And remember, these in the back, they are big fat bullies. So those are the bullies, the 96, the 2 zeros, the 58. And remember, boys and girls, 5 and up, bump it up. 4 or less, let it rest. Okay, so let's see what we got. The 9's doing the pushing, so that's going to hurt, boys and girls. It bumps it up to a 2. The one in the front, the bystander, stays the same. Bullies in the back, zeros. Okay, that's a 0, boys and girls, pushing a 5. That 0 is a wimpy bully, so you stay the same, let you rest, stays a 5. The one in the front, the bystander, stays the same. Bullies in the back, zeros. So that number stayed the same. What about this one, boys and girls? The 5's doing the pushing. 5 and up, remember? 5 and up, bump it up. So the number's going to, the victim's going to get bumped up. It's going to hurt. So the 0 becomes a 1. Bullies in the back, zeros. And the 6, the bystander, stays the same. Okay, we're going to add, because we're finding the sum. 0, 0. 2 plus 5 is 7, plus 1 is 8. Don't forget the comma. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 6, use your fingers if you have to, boys and girls. It's an 11. 11,800 is the sum of these numbers after you round to the hundreds. You need to round first, boys and girls, before you add or subtract. Okay, so now I'm going to let you loose. And you're going to be doing number 1. Make sure you round them to the hundreds and you find the difference. This one, round to the thousands, and again, you find the difference. Careful your regrouping, but there should be okay with the zeros. And this one, round to the nearest 10,000, you're going to add. And if I were you on this one, I would create the divisions, the dividers right here. So you can see the numbers separately. All right, don't forget to submit. Thank you, boys and girls.